Remember when the Obama administration was painting the release of Sergeant Bowe Bergdahl in a positive light? Remember that?
This is a joyous day. The fact that he is now safely in American hands and will be reunited with his family. He served the United States with honor and distinction, and we'll have the opportunity eventually to learn what has transpired in the past years.
Really? Will we? But 6 months after the military began the investigation into the soldier's disappearance and capture by the Taliban, the findings remain under wraps. So why is that? Fox News senior judicial analyst Judge Andrew Napolitano is here to break it down. Judge, we know 2 generals looked at this. We know the investigation's complete. So when do we get the results of this investigation?
Probably when the president decides he wants us to get it, because of the president's personal, and the answer to your question is the president's personal involvement in the trade of Sergeant Bergdahl for 5 Taliban leaders at Gitmo is so toxic, such a hot potato. I think he prefers that we never know exactly what happened. So even though Susan Rice, the clip that you just ran, said we have an opportunity to find out what happened the past 5 years, he was gone for 5 years in their captivity. I don't know that we'll ever know. The broad array of what he could be charged with, from the low end of failure to answer a roll call, which is an administrative discipline, to treason, for which he could be executed, and a dozen different crimes in between. I don't know that the government is ever going to choose which one it wants to charge him with.
Well, we have had some of his, some of the people who served with him on this program, and they've made it very clear that he was a deserter. However, if the investigation finds that he was a deserter, then the fact that we gave up the 5 bad guys for the deserter blows up.
Well, that's why we may never know what's in the report. Before we started this segment, Brian said, is there any way we see the report? If the general who conducts the investigation recommends prosecution, and if Sergeant Bergdahl's commanding general agrees to the prosecution, then we will see the report. But if there is no prosecution, the government has no obligation to show the report. As frustrating as this is, I want to see it as much as you do, as much as everybody watching us now wants to see it. The military has no obligation to reveal that report, and it is not subject to the Freedom of Information Act.
Right. I mean, it's you have General Ken Dahl and you have General Mark Milley who did this. And you have to wonder, is this stovepiped? Is it, I'm going to do an investigation, I don't care who's president? Or do you sense they're bleeding into each other, that these generals could be infected by the political atmosphere?
It's almost unheard of for a general to be conducting an investigation like this. This is a couple of grades below what a general normally does. Who selected this general, whether it was Secretary Hagel or the president himself, I don't know.
You know, one of the things that makes this case different, and it's the same thing with Benghazi. Benghazi, 4 Americans died. In the looking for Sergeant Bergdahl, at least 3 Americans who were out on the lookout, out on patrol, looking for him, died.
Yes.
3 that we know of. We've heard a much higher number. I mean, people lost their lives looking for a guy who apparently deserted.
Well, that elevates the penalty for him. I mean, desertion is ordinarily punished by imprisonment. But if soldiers looking for you during the period of desertion were killed while looking for you, that elevates the penalty to execution.
I'll tell you what, I don't know if this is a legal problem, but this is a real problem. If those 5 go back to action, and I don't think they're learning a vocation or in woodshop right now, and they kill other Americans down the line in some massive operation because these guys are planners and commanders, then that factors in. That should be something that's really consequential.
Well, it's very consequential. Remember, it's a federal crime to provide material assistance to a terrorist organization. Question, is releasing Taliban leaders back to the Taliban providing material assistance to a terrorist organization?
I say yes.
That's what the president did.
It was a joyful day when we got him back, according to...
She didn't seem too happy when she was saying joyful.
Right. She was just reading the script.
Yes.
All right, Judge, thank you.